wonke umuntu makaphandla sakhe sokudla athi maphorisa ngisize ngikhuluma iqiniso iyo le ngoma siyafuna Phoyisa amen maphorisa
It's the second one, yeah. So
amen maphorisa Phoyisa amen maphorisa
A very, very warm welcome to the first show of 2020. Welcome back.
Oh, South Africa, it feels so good to be back in front of your TV screens at 5 p.m. Of course, this is Afternoon Express. My name is Balisa Dembe, and joining me, of course, is the glamorous, the beautiful big sis,
Jeannie G. Now, the old trope to starting off a new year is always filled with talk about personal resolutions, starting on a clean slate, and of course, setting your most ambitious personal goals.
Absolutely. So in studio today, we chat to award-winning personal finance coach and speaker, Mapalo Magu. Now, she gives us all the tips on the different methods that you can use to better keep your finances healthy. Now, we also get right back into the kitchen with our first recipe of the year, so you don't want to miss out on that.
We definitely need advice on that because it comes to this part of the month when it's January.
Yeah.
Too much month at the end of the money. Now, Martina Pali also joins us on the couch as we chat about the realistic ways in which you can exercise self-preservation. Now, part of surviving this really long journey called life is being able to pick up the pieces when your world literally comes crashing down. So it's an amazing, motivating show today. But of course, we're kicking off with our very, very first guest, who is super, super motivating.
I mean,
So
you guys need to check out the body on this woman. So I'm definitely going to be taking all the tips and tricks that I need from this incredible lady. Now, you might be wondering, who is she? Who are we talking about? Of course, we are talking about none other than Maiki Monoketsi. Now, she joins us on the couch to chat about how she's persevered through adversities in her personal and professional life. Plus, we get right into 2020 fitness demo to get your bodies up and ready, running for the new year. Now, if you've got any questions for Miki, head over to our social media platforms using the hashtag Afternoon Express. Welcome to the Loft.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very, very well, very excited.
So how does this feel? Our first guest for the first live show of 2020. You're kicking us off with all things entrepreneurship and fitness. How does that
It's
feel?
so exciting. You know, I've been talking to everybody about setting their goals actually this year.
Yeah.
Because it is so, so crucial. You know, it's very, very important. So I don't know if I can start there, but I don't want to take over your conversation.
Yes,
actually.
please.
You set goals.
I set
You have
goals, yeah. And
resolutions.
really, you know, I've always written down my goals, ne? And what really transformed the quality of my life, 3rd of January 2016. Because you write it down. But I'm also, you know, I'm Christian. So I'm seeing you wearing, So anyway, then Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2 to 4, it says, write your vision down, make it plain, right? So what did I do? I've always written, but then I cut out the pictures of the things that I wanted to see manifest in that year. I had 7 specific goals that I was working on with affirmations or declaration for each goal.
Yeah.
So I don't watch any negative news. I don't listen to anyone that's going to negate or tell me anything that is opposite to. I don't even consume any type of media.
Wow.
Or
That-
go
if it's
to
gonna bring you
or
down.
listen. That's going to bring me down,
That is
right?
the best
or
message I've ever
contradict
heard.
anything, or
Yeah.
friends or mockers or whatever. Right. So I cut it all out. 7 specific goals I was working on. Financial goal, you know, physical goals, I promise you, the biggest one, the financial goal in particular, because I said by the age of, before I turn 40, I've got to make my first bar girl.
Yes, queen.
And I was 38 at the time. Yes. So I wrote it down. I promise you, I got to working 12 to 16-hour day. Right.
Yeah.
It really got to work focused, no distractions. 12th of August. The financial goal was realized. And I didn't even see it because I had already exceeded it. And then I had a goal now to buy a house. I bought my house cash for my 40th birthday. I was on top billing with a house last year, cash. So it is possible. It is necessary to put our goals down. You've got to put it down because you forget about it. You know, year in, year out, we are procrastinating. We're saying, I'll do it next year. I will try. And then we're always thinking, other things are meant for Bupalis and it's not meant for me.
Okay, that's such a huge point, and this is what I want to know.
All right.
Because it's so easy to look at the other people and go, oh, but they've got that life and they've got that life. But you really, really did create this and manifest this for yourself. But it wasn't always like this. I mean, your business failed, you got a divorce all at the same time, your life literally came crashing down.
Yes.
How did you know to pull yourself out of it in this way?
Just believe, because at the age of 30, when I turned 30, my daughter is actually with me. I said, I will never be broke another day in my life, right?
Yeah.
And I was working in corporate at the time. I have so much respect for people that are working for bosses. Okay. But I decided that was not going to be my reality. So that was 2008, started a business. 2012, everything falls apart. So goes the marriage, so goes everything, and a lot of sacrifice. My
But
daughter
why
doesn't
do you
even
think
live with
everything
me.
fell apart? Were you not exercising all this positivity that you did?
It was there, but you know, sometimes, so it was there, but you go into a business and one that you don't know about. Okay.
Yeah.
So we did our research. We thought it was going to be a turnkey type business. You get into a business, the reality is different. So we built the business from 12 people to 80. But then we had to retrench all 80 people. And you need to also know, because you've got that spirit of not quitting and giving up, but you need to know also when to walk away and say, this is not working. 2012 May, I decided, because I had already made the decision in 2008 that I will never be broke another day in my life. So I started a business, and I was doing my research. But, you know, coming from South Africa and having well-traveled as well, a lot of people, particularly in the townships, have been told to stop eating spices.
Yeah.
But what is it about South African spices that are making people sick? Because you know, turmeric, your cayenne pepper, etc. It's got a lot of benefits.
Yeah.
And most countries, actually, they don't have like medical aid or hospital, or like hospitalization benefits like us. They use spices.
Sure.
So I did research, knocked on a couple of doors. Ek praat ook Afrikaans. Hallo Kaapstad, hallo almal. So I believe that it opens doors.
Yes.
So I'll start with English a little bit, and then I was like, sort of big Afrikaans. Because ja, maar ek kan nie reg, my Afrikaans is 'n bietjie van, nee, maar jy's so oulik. Jy kan maar sommer Engels praat, and then we go for it. And so at a gym, I make it my business, Jenny, to know what everybody else does.
Yeah.
So I might connect people with the right people, but I find out this person does that. So there was this other lady, Afrikaner lady also, who Jimmy, it's like, she was crazy. I had abs at the time, you know, it's like your body, what I started training. And then guess what? She owns a spice company. But think about it. Everything that we consume is spiced.
Yeah.
Everything. Right. And she's got big companies that she works with, and she was making them flavors. So I told her about my vision, and she says, absolutely, they had all the resources. I had 10 days in Randstad.
Wow.
So I had now access to your food technologists, your quality control, da-da-da-da-da. I did extensive research. I went to your Diepsloot, Lion Park, Cosmos City, finding out what people are eating.
Yeah.
Where are they buying whatever they're buying, you know, for the spices and herbs, etc., and help them myself physically. Then they were saying, also, when you go into a business, everybody wants to go into a chisanyama or car wash. It's common stuff. Find a need and fill it. Find a need and fill it. So find out what the problem is, and then you solve that problem for a lot of people.
I'm so in love with you. Don't you want to come and live with me? You are so inspiring. It is your energy is absolutely infectious.
Thank you.
So I can imagine that you infect yourself every morning with these.
I have
Do you
to.
look in the mirror and give yourself like a mantra? And
No,
like
I don't leave until
Yeah.
I feel this way.
Really?
Yes, I do not leave my house. I've got a chandelier at the house. You know, when I was growing up,
Obsessed.
I was seeing chandelier. I get on TV on the bold and the beautiful, etc. I said I was pronouncing a chandelier at the time. So I've got this big mirror with a chandelier. If it was up to me, I'll have it in every house, in every room.
Yeah.
But it's something that I wanted as a kid, you know.
Yeah.
So I do not leave my house. I switch it on whether night, day, and whatever. When it's got electricity, it is there. No, I just switch it on at the time, and I speak to myself in this big mirror. So I've got certain affirmations that I use, you know, and I do not leave my house until I feel this vibration. Yeah, because you know it's rough out there.
So amazing.
Too rough.
No, listen, you're taking up this energy that you just, wow.
Exuding.
Have more, have
incredible.
more.
No, I
I've
love
got
it.
a lot and in abundance.
So there's so many people at home that want to hear from you. So we've
Yeah.
asked you on social media
Oh,
if you've
okay.
got any questions for Umiki. And we here have Dombentle, who says, Happy New Year, Afternoon Express. Thank you so much. Happy New Year to you too. I would like to ask Miss Minky how to grow your business. It
Yo.
sounds something so simple, but a lot of people
rough.
get overwhelmed by it.
So I started in 2012, but you know, you've got to believe in what you're doing.
Yeah.
Got to believe. And secondly, I say, don't try and be all things to all people, you can't. If you're going to be scattering your energy, you are here, you are there, and you're trying to be all things to all people, you're never going to achieve anything. And what I find a lot of people also, what they do is that a person would have multiple businesses, right? You touch this, you leave it, you touch that, you leave that, multiple business, you're going to make 20 rand, 30 rand, you're scattering your energy all over the place. Focus on one thing, find out the problem in your community, exactly what it is, and find a way to solve a problem for a lot of people. That's how you have a business, not by trying to be doing the same thing that everybody else is doing.
That's very practical
Unless it's within you and that's what you want to do. But find out what the problem is and solve that problem for a million
So we're
people.
speaking what's your passion and, of course, what does your community need? Put these two things together and voila, who knows, you might have a thriving business in Ntombenhle. We've got another comment here from Enza Stevens who says, happy New Year, guys. Thank you so much. I missed you so much and we missed you too. I'm glad to have you back. Now, my question is for Miss Miki is that when did she realize that she has a passion for going into business?
Yeah, since the age of 13, actually. I come from Kimberley, by the way. Huh? My grandmother, I was raised by my grandmother. And, you know, being told that there's no money for this, that. So my grandmother used to sell beer and, you know, typical house, etc., in a, you know, four-roomed house. So I decided I'm tired of always being told that there is no money. And I love money. My mother used to call me Jutasi when I was growing up. I love ching because it makes a lot of things possible. So that's when, from the age of 13, I've always had a business. So I was selling, in Kimberley, we call it chicken feet.
Yeah.
So mine was the best. Yes. Yeah. Chicken feet, I had popcorns, etc., etc. And my grandmother, like I said, she used to sell beer, so I was selling BB and you know, the tobacco. Oh, because she had customers, so I identified needs once again because I had to be sent to go and sell, right?
If
to go
you
buy
are 13
somewhere.
years old, I don't
From the age
recommend
of
selling
13.
cigarettes and alcohol.
Exactly, sorry. But at the time, because, you know, at home, and I had all these other opportunities and coming from, so I've always had money, and entrepreneurship, I believe it runs in my blood. I love it.
It is. I do believe you cannot teach entrepreneurship. It's something you either have or you don't.
Yeah.
That's it.
But you have got like an abundance as well as energy and positivity. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
We're going to have you back on the couch a little bit later for more of that energy. Now make sure to join us for our first recipe of the year as we make some really delicious tuna meatballs in roasted tomato sauce. Now
Delicious.
that diet is back after eating everything this holiday. We'll be back after the break.
Express yourself.
Just relax, it's just us two. Just do you. Do you? Nobody else.
Clover fresh milk is the #1 milk brand in SA. Made with love by Clover. Welcome back to Afternoon Express, the first show of 2020. And of course, we hope that you're having a wonderful afternoon. Now, with the new Clover Butro Oil, a really delicious sunflower and butter oil blend, you won't need like too many ingredients actually to create a really, really tasty meal. Now, our tuna meatballs with roasted tomato sauce is a really clever take on the traditional spag bowl, and you might already have the ingredients on standby. Now, to get this recipe, all you need to do is SMS the keyword Clover to 33650. SMSs are charged at R1.50 each, and free SMSs do not apply. And of course, we have the sensational Chef Mo in the house.
Thank you, Julie.
Oh, I missed you, Chef
Missed you
Mo.
too.
Can I tell you how awful it is when I've got to cook for myself? I just don't end up cooking, which means now that the new year has started, we need all of your amazing healthy recipes again.
But I trust you were healthy in between,
No, there
right?
was nothing healthy about this holiday.
Okay.
Nothing
It's okay.
healthy about this holiday.
It's
it
all
was
good.
all the fun.
Yeah.
No, okay. But
So-
these are really good ingredients.
These are good ingredients. What I love about this recipe is 3 things. It's the nutritional value, the simplicity of the actual dish, and also the cooking techniques. So
Okay.
it's really simple. Instead of your mince, we're going to use some tuna that has been drained.
And you can just drain it from a tin, shove it into the bowl. Okay.
It's also cheaper than actual beef mince, and also it's got so much nutritional value with the omega-3s.
Exactly.
Excellent for brain health, you know.
I know.
So we're just going to add some parsley to that and a bit of lemon zest.
So I love that these are all ingredients that you will literally have in the back of your cupboard, in the back of your pantry, in the back of your fridge, all already easy access.
And just make them all come together. Added an egg for binding, some lemon juice for that extra flavor, and some fresh breadcrumbs, which you can just, you know...
You can use panko as well.
You could, for that nice extra crunch, and then just season with some salt and pepper. That comes together, and then you're going to make your meatballs. So you just bind them, fill them into balls, put it in the fridge, let rest for about 20 minutes, and then that's what they look like. Over here. Ta-da. And then we're going to fry them off. So we're going to add our butter oil. As you said,
it's really hot.
A lovely butter and sunflower oil blend.
That is such a good combination because often I don't know if you're supposed to cook with, like I really am good at making broccoli. Like I told you, it's my favorite thing to make. And I always like, you know, you need the oiliness of oil, but then you want that butteriness.
That buttery taste.
So that's why this is such a good product.
And you also don't want your butter to burn, so you always add a bit of oil to it. And this is just that whole thing in one bottle.
Actually, it's actually perfect because the buttery, like when I do the broccoli like that, it still does get that little burn on the griddle pan. Oh,
yes, love that charry bit.
I'm going to actually make it for you one day on the show. You're going to really like it.
Okay. Looking forward to that.
Pleasure.
Okay, so that's going to go for a few minutes until they're nice and golden brown like that.
Yeah.
And then we're going to move on to our roasted tomato sauce. Now, this sauce is the best sauce you're ever going to make, and don't ever make a different sauce than this.
Okay, so this is the go-to.
Yeah, because what you do is just add some vine tomatoes into a roasting tray, add some onion wedges, and then you're going to roast your garlic. And what this does is when it roasts in the oven, the flavors really just concentrate.
But you just leave it like this?
Leave it like that, because when they come out of the oven, you just squash them out.
Oh, okay, so that isn't just the sauce in there?
Yeah, and this is just a bit more butter oil.
Okay.
That's going to go into the oven, season that salt and pepper, and a bit of oregano.
That's it.
Also your chopped tomatoes, because the whole sauce is actually just going to cook in the oven.
Okay.
Yeah, no stovetop.
Okay, perfect.
All right, so then once that is done, this is what it looks like. You just remove the tomatoes from the vines, and there is your garlic.
Okay.
Roasted garlic. If you roast your garlic, it just increases those flavor components.
Okay.
And tomatoes are also a great healthy thing to have. Rich in lycopene.
Oh, my word, tomatoes are my absolute best. I think I have tomatoes in almost every single meal.
Yeah.
I love tomatoes.
It's really good antioxidants.
So that's what it is that comes out of there?
Yeah, this is what it looks like. And then just add that to a blender. If you don't have a blender, you could just add it to a pan and just bash it with a wooden spoon. A nice chunky sauce would also be great. So everything is roasted, sweetness of the onions, the acidity of the tomatoes, and that beautiful roasted garlic.
This is absolutely incredible.
And it's so quick and easy easy to make. And then that gets blended. This is our sauce ready to go. And there are our done tuna fish balls, meat balls. And all we do is just split. You can add some spag balls, spaghetti, or...
I have to taste the sauce.
Or I would just
actually made my day.
Yeah, I would just use like a low-carb spaghetti or pasta. Also a vibe.
She was not lying. Not a word of a lie.
Yeah.
This is honestly the best sauce
Tomato
and the last tomato sauce you will actually ever need.
The only one that you should ever make.
I'm addicted to tomato sauce, can I tell you?
Yeah.
I have tomato sauce on absolutely everything.
Yeah.
And this is, this is the win.
Those roasted flavors, it's like bang on
And
flavors.
I love that the only sweetness came from those onions.
The onions,
You didn't put any sugar in them.
No sugar at all. And also the sweetness of the tomatoes, when you use vine tomatoes, it also have a bit of sweetness. So
Mo, you are amazing.
Thank you.
Oh, you are definitely going to want to text and get this recipe because this is definitely the best tomato sauce I've actually ever tasted.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there you go.
You
It's
are
beautiful,
a genius.
rich, thick, just a different take and a different elevation to a normal.
It's only the first show of the year, and already this tomato sauce will be my highlight recipe. Amazing.
Yeah, make lots, and then you can always put it away, freeze it, and use it for anything else.
You are just amazing. Now, if you like the idea of this really, really simple recipe, trust me, you need to SMS the keyword Clover to 33650 to get this recipe sent directly to your device. You won't regret it. I need some more.
Clover Fresh Milk is the #1 milk brand in SA. Made with love by Clover.
From food to fitness. Now, after the festive season is done and dusted, we all know how important our fitness is as we gear up for the new year. So we're back with Miss Miki, who's going to show us some easy-to-do fitness tips that you can try at home to get ready for all of the new year activities that we got up our sleeves.
Yeah.
Now, you've got 4 simple exercises that everyone can try at home.
That can burn about 500 calories, guys. When you do this at least 3 times a week, you can burn a kilogram per week.
Well, those are big promises. So let's see if you can deliver. What's the very first exercise?
All right, the first exercise
and what does it
will be
help
our
with?
squats. Actually, it works your core, it works your thighs, as well as your bum.
Okay.
So then we go into a cardio type exercise, which is then our jumping jacks.
Okay.
And then we're going to do a plank, and then lastly we'll do some crunches as well. So it's an overall body type exercise.
Sounds brilliant. And
All
of
right,
course,
then.
form is very, very important.
Form is absolutely
So
key.
when we get stuck into our squats, what is the right physique? What should people be making sure that they do at home?
Yeah, make sure whatever you do that your knees are not going over your toes. So we're going to just, just go shoulder width, right? And then you can go down, squat, and then come up, push through your heels and squeeze your butt as you come up.
So the key here is to keep your shoulders and your feet and your knees in the same kind of line. Make sure that your knees do not go over your toes. We don't want that.
And you're not lifting either your heels as you like most people will do. Yeah, that's
okay, let's
exactly
do
what they
2 and
All
make
right.
sure that our viewers know exactly how to nail this move at home.
Yeah. So we can do one. Let's say, for example, if you're not advanced, maybe do a normal squat, and then you can do jump squats as well.
Okay, let's do one normal squat. Let's keep it simple. It's the beginning of the year.
Yes. 1. Up, squeeze your butt as you come up.
2. Squeeze your buttocks on your way out. You have to engage every muscle group.
Core nice and tight. Head up, chest out.
Brilliant. Let's do jumping squats for those that are a little bit more advanced.
Yes. So you're just going to go 1. Up, 2. Lift up. 3, 4, and 5.
Brilliant. Oh, I'm already feeling that workout. I'm feeling the burn, which means something is working. I'm doing the right thing. Of course, we've got our second workout now.
Which will be our jumping jacks. So nice and easy. You go up, 2, 3, 4, 5. You do about 60 at home. This is like 4 minutes in total. You take a break for about 20 seconds in between your exercises.
I remember growing up at home, I used to be part of the drum majorette team. And if you got any move wrong, you had to do jumping jacks. It's basically star jumps. It's so easy. As you open your legs, of course, your hands go and they clap above your head. And then you go down to fold everything together. So again, up, close together, up, close together. Of course, I find it super easy if you also engage your core throughout
the motions. You've got to keep your core engaged.
Stunning. Okay, I love that. So we've gone through the squats, we've gone through the jumping jacks.
Let's do our planks now.
Our planks.
A lot of people, actually, I had someone this morning in the gym or their bum lifted up. So nice and flat.
Okay, you have to show me do's and don'ts there.
Go down.
Okay.
Lift yourself. There we go. Keep your core nice and tight and contracted. There we go. You got it, girl. There we go. Lower. That's it. Nice and tight. Keep it tight. Let's go. I'm going to count to 10.
Any tighter than this, I'm telling you.
9, 8, Don't drop. 7, 6. This is good. 5.
Thank you.
4, 3.
And of course,
1.
when
That's it.
doing a plank,
Yes.
what muscle group are we focusing on, and why is this
Core
so
one,
important?
core, it supports your back. That's who you are. You know what I'm saying? So your back is supported, and that's you know, I had for example a back injury recently, and just so basically everything comes from the core.
Everything comes from the core.
Yeah.
Even if you're at a desk and you're like, I don't do anything behind the desk.
Yeah.
When you're typing, your posture is so important. When you're carrying the kids, you have
That's
to
it.
make sure that every single muscle group is engaged.
Yeah.
So far, what is your favorite activity? What is your favorite workout? Tweet us at Afternoon Chat using the hashtag Afternoon Express, or comment on our Facebook page. Do one better. Send us a video of you working out. I want to see how you guys are engaging that core. And what's the last one?
Last exercise, let's go into crunches. This is very easy. Anyone can do it. Lots of people actually, when they think of a flat stomach, they're thinking, I can already crunch. There's so many other exercises that you can actually do. So you're going to just lift your body up. Maybe I should just show you. Come up.
Okay.
Come to me and clap my hands. That's it, girl. Easy. 2. Let's go.
And I'm
3,
using my
10.
stomach muscles
Someone to pull yourself
to
up once.
pull myself up.
That's
Woo.
it. That's it. 5 more. 5. Let's go. Get it, girl.
Yes,
4.
go.
Yes. 3.
3.
Yes. 2 and set.
1.
Well done.
That
Up.
feels so good. I'm so
Woo.
ready to take on all the activities that I've got up my sleeve for 2020. Thank you so much for coming through and
you.
leading us to the path of fitness. But for now, over to you, Jeannie.
I don't know about you, but I am so inspired after watching that. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to kill it at the gym. Okay, maybe I'll start next Monday. Next Monday, I promise you, I'm going to kill it at the gym. After the break, personal finance coach Mapalo Maku joins us on the couch to talk money. Don't miss out.
Express yourself.
Together we will fly. Just relax, it's just us two. Just do you.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express, our very first show for January.
Yeah.
Now, we all know that the conversations around money is constantly filled with red tape. Sometimes all you need is the know-how to really kickstart financial freedom and, of course, your financial journey.
Absolutely. Now, Mapalo Mako joins us on the couch to give us some tips in the form of her new book, You're Not Broke, You're Pre-Rich. I kind of like that. So if you've got any questions for Mapalo, head over to our social media pages using the hashtag Afternoon Express. Girl, I would love to tell myself that every day.
Yes.
I would love to tell my bank balance that I'm not broke, I'm just
Totally.
pre-rich. So what's this book about? And when you wrote it, what were you aiming for?
Yeah, so literally this book is a personal finance book for millennials, right? So for women and men, of course, who are asking themselves, how do I win at this money game? Right? Because a lot of the times when you read a personal finance book, just from the title, it scares you off, right? But this book really was for people to get money in the most basic way. And to tell you, Palisa, it's one of the best compliments that I've gotten about the book, that, you know what, it's the easiest read ever.
Yeah.
So for me, really, that's what this book's supposed to do.
Heaven sent to me.
You were with us in 2018, and I mean, it was so obvious then that you needed to write a book on finance, just because you do know how to communicate, you know, being financially savvy in such an intense way.
Yeah.
So what has your year been like putting this together?
Jenny, my year has been completely crazy. 2019 was madness, right? So my publisher, Penguin Random House, they approached me and said, you know what, we need you to write a book, a personal finance book for millennials that is completely jargon-free, right? And I said, hell yeah, I can do that. I can absolutely do that. And I had to write 60,000 words.
Amazing.
60,000 words.
But where do you even start? 60,000. How did you even begin? Like, because you've got really clever little themes here, and you've made everything so easy. Like, you know, you cover black tax, you cover things like how to eliminate, you know, unnecessary expenses, eliminating debt. So where did you even start?
So for me, I think it was a bit of an easy task, to tell the truth, because I had been writing for so long, right? I write for a couple of publications, I write for my own blog, so I knew exactly what people want. I knew exactly the need of the different types of people, of my tribe, as I call them. I call them my tribe. People who follow me, I call them my tribe. Hi, tribe. And I always, there's messages that they come through with, and they say, you know what, I want to know how to get out of debt. I want to know which investments to go for. I want to know how to start saving. I want to know how to get out of black tax, you know. But what I did, I think that is very different from every other book for this book, was that I interviewed people. Throughout my book, I interviewed real life people, people who are professionals, people who are just starting out in life, people who are older, to just get a sense of what their beliefs about money are, but most importantly, the mistakes they've made, so we can learn from them, and I tell you what to do before you even find yourself in those mistakes.
So why do you think people do have such an uncomfortable relationship with money? And why do you think people are struggling to save money? Because it seems to me that a lot of people, especially in South Africa, are living from payday to payday.
And I mean, that's one of the things in the book, that, you know, stop living from paycheck to paycheck or payday to payday. I think it's the fact that, you know, we want instant gratification, number one, right? We want things, we want them now. You've seen something online, oh goodness, Ginny D was wearing some beautiful shoes, I want those. So that's that. But
I'm my own worst enemy as well, don't worry.
But also, Palisa and Ginny, the fact that the environment that we grow up in, we see people struggling, we see our families struggling, and we think one day when I earn money, I'm going to blow it. You know, I'm going to live my best life. No one's going to tell me anything. You know what? They will see that I've arrived.
But Mapalo, that leads us perfectly into your theme, hashtag get your money right. But so many of us are just getting it wrong. I mean, I know I struggle with budgeting. So what tools and practical advice can you give people to get their money right? And
The word budget even sounds like a swear word.
I know, I break out in hives.
The word budget, it just spits out of your mouth like a swear word, actually. Such an ugly word.
It is not an ugly word, okay?
I want to make this positive because it's tough.
That is not very positive.
Sell me on the positivity.
All right, I'm gonna try my best to start on the positive, right? I think the best way to manage your money is to pay yourself first. And what is the concept of paying yourself first? Paying yourself first, Ginny, I'm not talking about going back to buy your new pair of shoes.
Darn it.
Unfortunately.
I knew I wasn't going to love this.
But paying yourself first is saying, you know what, I honor the work that I do.
Yeah.
I work hard.
Yeah.
So I'm going to honor myself by putting money away either for the next couple of months or for the next couple of years, so that I can still live the same lifestyle that I'm living today in a couple of years' time.
Yeah.
So paying yourself first is putting money aside for anything for the future, right? Then you can spend. Then you can spend whatever is left and pay your bills, of course, and that sort of thing.
I have to just ask you a question, because this actually gives me a lot of anxiety and a lot of panic, especially when I look at a lot of young people that are all influencers and this, and they don't actually have like actual careers or actual
careers.
So what? I mean, how should we be saving now when we're young for when we're old? How are we going to live when we are old? When we're not earning as much money anymore?
That is such a good question. And in one of the interviews that I did recently, I said, you know what, look at the people around you. Look at the older people around you. Are they living the type of lifestyle that you want to live? Right? And for me, that's a good enough reason for you to start thinking about the future.
I know. This is why I've got anxiety. So, I'm not living the life like the Housewives of Beverly Hills, and that's pretty much what I would like to do.
And so, yes, you should start saving now. And people talk about retirement or years later as if it's something that is so distant. But for me, there's enough argument to say, look at the people around you. Are they living the type of lifestyle that you want? If not, then it means that you have to make different choices and decisions from the choices they have made.
And talking about planning for the future, I mean, another term that just brings alarm bells to my head is that in which emergency fund. A lot of us think that, you know, I'm safe. No one in my life is going to the hospital. I'm healthy. There's no crisis happening. But sometimes, unexpectedly, that's why they call it an emergency. Something happens, spur of the moment, and I'm not ready. How can I ensure that I'm ready? And how big does an emergency fund look like? Is it like millions? Or?
You know what? I think an emergency fund is the most important account that you'll ever have. Because emergencies happen. I have never met anyone who has not had an emergency.
Wow.
Okay? Even myself, just this past couple of weeks, my rooms were completely messed up. So I had to dig into some sort of emergency fund to make sure that they're sorted, right? So your emergency fund needs to be at least 3 to 6 months worth of your salary. I know it sounds like a lot.
Girl, what are you talking about?
Like a lot.
Yes, it always 3 to 6 months years of my life to save.
It always comes with a disclaimer. I know it seems like a lot, but imagine you lose your job. Right? And you don't have an income for 3 months, then what? You know, that's seemingly you sacrificing for a couple of thousands of rands every month seems like nothing in the bigger scheme of things. So for me, I know when it comes to personal finance, I never want to bog down people about what could possibly happen. That's horrible. But
although that is important to know.
It is really important. It is really important, because then what happens? Then you have to go to debt and you're back in the cycle.
And so few people have insurance and medical aids and all those things as well. You need it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much for being an inspiration. You actually have to read this. Like, if I go through just some of the titles and headlines, this will probably be one of the best books you will ever read. Make sure you get it.
Absolutely. I know I'm rushing to my nearest bookstore and I'm coming for that signing, but we've asked you on social media if you've got any questions for Mabalo. And we have got Elsie here who said, please give me advice on ways to pay off the bond ahead of time.
Girl,
brilliant.
A woman after my own heart. That is a woman after my own heart. So that is such a good question, right? And paying off your bond the quickest, it's a brilliant idea. So the little that you can do, put off $500 extra every single month into your bond, $1,000 or whatever amount that you can do. So putting up every cent that you can find in your budget is always a good idea, because remember, they charge you interest. And interest.
But you basically just end up paying interest when you're paying back the bond.
For most years.
For a long time.
Years.
You know, I always thought that I was going to be a bond girl in my life, and I just ended up being a girl with a bond. But you've got to pay it off faster. Like, if you're limited, if your amount to pay back is a certain amount, you have to pay more than what it is.
Yes. And also, Jeannie, the thing is, the misconception is that you have to stick to what the bank has given you. If they've given you a 20-year bond, that's what you have to stick to. No, absolutely not. You can pay off your bond in 5 years. You can pay off your bond in 10 years. It really just depends on you and how much you want to be debt-free.
It is a possibility, and you can do it too. Solomon here asks, what are the practical ways for people earning below the monthly income or salary rate for them to save money? And how can we normalize investing? What is the right age to start saving? And how much should one have in the bank to start saving? Why is it so important to save?
You're saving for your future, right? You are saving for your future. So for me, when I look at investments or savings, I think about the fact that, you know what, when you invest, you're saying, I do not have to work a day extra than I have to or than I want to, right?
That's beautiful.
So for me, if that can pop in your mind and that can pop in your head, I think you have won already, all right? So for me, there is no ballpark number to say, you know what, you need to start saving $1,000, 100,000. Whatever it is that you have, start with that. And I think people get put off saving or investing because they think, oh goodness, I need to be a billionaire. No. Whatever it is you have, just look at the different alternatives that are available to you that you can start putting your money into, and make sure that they are registered. You know, don't go for scams.
Yeah, could you be too old or too young to start saving and investing?
No. There's never such thing. Remember, once you start saving at a younger age, you have the biggest advantage. And what is that advantage? Compound interest, right? So your money compounds over time and over time and over time. Your money makes more money babies and makes more and it makes more. So starting young is actually an advantage. But I never want to put off older people who are starting to invest and say, you know, well, you didn't use your time wisely. Everyone, no matter what stage, you can start investing.
Beautiful.
Do you save?
Unfortunately, I have not been good at saving, but now what I've learned, especially in the last year of working, that the most little bit counts.
Yes.
I'm struggling to pay myself first, so that's one thing I'm taking away from this conversation. But even if it's 20 Rand, Jeannie, I'm putting away.
So what I've read this thing, which was absolutely amazing. I know that I've got to finish, but try and save 10 Rand a day. Just calculate what 10 Rand a day.
Yes.
Calculate what a year of 10 Rand a day is.
Absolutely.
It's like 700 and something thousand.
Yeah.
Rand.
And what's
It's a whole lot of money.
Math was never my strength. Which is why we need you.
Oh, Mafalo, you are the best. Thank you so much for all that money advice.
Thank you so much.
Now join us after the break as Martina Poli chats to us about self-preservation in 2020, something we all need. See you after the break.
Just relax, it's just us two. Just do you.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. I hope that you've been joining us for the whole show because it is certainly the best way to start the new year with some of the most inspiring conversations. Now, part of pressing the reset button into the new year is really make sure that you treat yourself better, both physically and emotionally.
Absolutely.
Looking after your heart.
Now we're joined by Martina Polly from The Art of Living to chat to us about how we can exactly do that. Welcome to the show.
Hi, gorgeous ladies.
I have to tell you, I've registered and signed up for so many Art of Living courses, and I just haven't been able to go. But no, I'm registered, so I'll arrive at some point.
I'll
Tell
be
us
there.
what exactly the correct art of living is, or how to live.
I think the title says it all, The Art of Living. It's very like alluring, like what is this art of living? So the way I've experienced it is it's a way of living your life. To start your day from a place of silence, to start slowly, to slow down, to stop, to listen.
Yeah.
And the art of living, it gives you different practices and techniques to do that. Through breathing, yoga, meditation, stuff like that.
So I can only imagine that this is all a part of just being more gentler to yourself, kinder to your body. How does that look for daily? Because a lot of moms, a lot of business women, a lot of entrepreneurs, people that are up and down, busy, how does that look like daily?
I think this is like something that's becoming more popular and more present in our conversations about being more gentler to ourselves and soft and so on. It's a bit more feminine approach to life, hey? And how that looks, you know, it comes with a discipline, strangely enough. Like, as much as, okay, yes, there's ways to stop, and for me, it's like having a cup of tea.
For me, it's having a slice of cake.
Yeah. It's those things, you know, that make you just slow down, pull yourself towards yourself and so on. But for me, it's how I start my mornings. I have a cup of tea. I love my first cup of tea. A friend of mine, she inspired me to start writing about what I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
And it's one thing you hear about all these things to do, but when you actually do it, it's lovely because it really does like work. It changes the way you feel. And then I roll out my yoga mat and I do a bit of yoga. I do my breathing exercises and my Kriya, which Jeannie D will learn about when she gets there, when she breaks through the door. And when I open my eyes, I just feel so relaxed. And really, the word or the feeling that's most present is clarity.
Yeah.
To start your day with clarity. In that time that I'm still, stuff bubbles up. It's my almost like a body intelligence telling me focus on that in your work. Connect with that person, do this or that. So it's like an inner guidance that comes from being still.
And that's so important because how often, I mean, this happens to me all the time, but I'm a little bit crazy. Does it happen to you all the time? Where sometimes you wake up in the morning, you shower, you're getting ready to start your day, and then you realize that you don't know where your phone is, but you're holding it in your hand, and then you forget to phone that person, and it's because everything is so loud. So that is kind of self-care and or being kinder to yourself when you learn how to tune out all of that noise almost.
Yeah, doing one thing at a time.
Yeah.
That's difficult. It's hard.
Well, it's impossible for me.
Yeah.
I'm totally like hyperactive. So what are some of the tools that you can recommend to our viewers at home in order to slow down their life to be more present?
So the highest form of energizing yourself, of bringing yourself towards yourself is using the breath.
Yeah.
And the breath, it's the first thing we do when we're born. We go, and it's the last thing we do when we pass. We go, that final breath. But during our whole life cycle, we don't really pay attention to our breath. It's just like this thing that happens naturally.
Yeah.
But it's actually this incredible gift that when you use your breath, it can completely bring you into alignment and into the present moment.
You know, as we're wrapping up the first show of the year, which I'm just so excited about to get stuck in, I want to learn some practical breathing tips, tricks, and what's the right way of breathing? Am I doing it incorrectly? Where should it start from? Where should it originate? Do you have any practical tips that our viewers at home can try?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Because I go to sleep every night with this guided meditation, and I think, oh, am I doing this properly? But it's quite nice. And actually, I recommend you at home, if you're sitting at home now on your couch, sit up straight and do this breathing exercise with us. And then also tweet us or go and visit our Instagram or our Facebook and let us know if you're feeling a lot more relaxed after this little breathing session. Okay, so tell us what we need to do.
What I've brought for you today is the straw breath. It's a very simple breath. It's a it's a great breath, actually, if you're trying to quit smoking.
Okay.
For anyone out there who's trying to quit.
You know, 2020 New Year's resolution, if you're trying to quit smoking or anything else, definitely try this with us.
So for the store breath, you sit with your spine straight, shoulders relaxed. When you do breathing exercises, you keep your eyes closed, because when your eyes are open, your senses are going outward. So if you can, keep your eyes closed. You take a deep, long breath through your nose. And as you breathe out, it's as if you're holding a straw, you purse your lips and slowly breathe out through the straw. Excellent, you got it. And deep breath in. And exhale through the straw slowly.
I know a lot of time people count through the breathing in and breathing out. Does that help at all in terms of breath control?
No, I think, you know what's wonderful, like with the art of living, is having a teacher. So someone can talk you through it. You don't have to do it yourself. But yes, some of the techniques we do, what you take home, you can count through yourself.
Stunning.
But the point is just relax. I'm here, so you can just... Should we just...
I can't wait to do this course. Okay, one more. But you can see why this is good for people who want to quit smoking, because you can pretend that you're going...
I mean, everyone at home, niyazi ukuthi ngiphaphe kanjani, but already trying this, I'm so relaxed. I feel down to earth. Maybe we can do one more breathe in and out before we head over to ad break.
Deep breath in. And slowly, as you exhale through your lips.
I'm cured.
Beautiful.
Amazing. Thank you so
Great.
much. I'm
Thank
really,
you,
really
ladies.
looking forward to that Art of Living course. Oh, I'm going to be so zen.
Now, after the ad break, we're going to be wrapping up with all of our phenomenal guests right here on the couch. So do not move a muscle. See you after the break.
Together we will fly. Just relax, it's just us two. Just do you.
to Afternoon Express, and of course we are back on the couch with award-winning personal finance coach and speaker Mapalo Maku, Martina Poli from The Art of Living, and of course businesswoman and entrepreneur Mickey Monoketsi, as we wrap up the show on such a positive note. I don't know about you, but I'm pumped.
Yeah, I'm so pumped.
2020 is my year.
You know, as they say, it's the year of 20 plenty, and we definitely want to manifest in abundance. We want to manifest a lot of things. And coming with that is New Year's resolution. New year, new me. How realistic is that, Martina? Are people sticking to their resolutions throughout?
I feel like the world's changed. Like last year or in the previous years, we were all setting lots of resolutions and stuff. And I feel like we're talking about being gentle. I feel like we all did a lot of work last year, a lot of self-development. And this year, we're being kinder to ourselves. You know what you need to do. The audience knows, like, this is what needs to be looked at this year, and trusting yourself that you will.
Last year, everyone's Mars was in retrograde the whole year.
Absolutely. And I know during the ad break, we were talking about setting, of course, that vision board for 2020. I know we spoke about it very, very briefly, Mickey, and I know I've got my stationery ready. Jeannie, we're going to have a vision board making party.
I know.
What type of things do we need to put on that vision board?
More Vogue mags for that.
Remember, we all want different things. You know, we all want different things. So go for what you want. Go for what you want, not what other people are.
I want to know, did your vision boards from a few years ago, when you look back at them now, have you gotten everything off those vision boards?
I've got 80% of it, and I asked myself, there's one specific, it's a car actually. And I'm asking myself, why don't I have this car? And I decided that, you know, we girls, right? For example, the first time I bought my weave, I decided, okay, it's so much, 5,000 rand. So I work on multiplications of 10. So instead of buying that weave for 5,000, it's expensive when you've got only 5. So 10x it. So once you've got a 10x, then you can buy it. So 5,000, when you've got 50,000, it's absolutely nothing. So there's a specific car that I want. I've put the money back into the business. I said, I'm going to 10x this specific amount, and then I'm going to buy myself that car. Because I'm like, why don't I have it? Because I can have it tomorrow if I want it.
Go and have a drive in my car and buy that one.
So basically every vision board looks different for each person individually. Financially, I know I'm kind of sweating already. It's only the 7th of the month. How can we make sure we get through January and, of course, keeping that positive momentum throughout the year?
I think it's very important to think about your goals or, you know, your vision board for the entire year in bit size, right? I think especially when it comes to personal finance, people want to take on everything all at the same time. I want to be debt-free. I want to become a multimillionaire. I want to conquer the world. I want to do all of these things, but we get overwhelmed. So for me, for this year, again, be kind to yourself. You know, especially when it comes to finances, you have to be kind to yourself. So don't get overwhelmed. Pick 2 things that you will do this year, right? Right? If it's overspending, that you've overspent all these years, you know, look at your budget and say, how can I cut back? Or how can I, you know, harmonize my budget a bit better, right? If you need to go or get a side hustle, do that. If you need to pay off debt, do that. But just pick 2 things this year and do them well.
Okay.
Ladies, I have to tell you, thank you so much for actually, this show is going to be hard to top. This has been such an amazing show. You were each so inspiring, and really we've learned a lot.
Absolutely. What a way
ready for the year?
What a way to kick off 2020. Looking fit, of course. No, I'm very excited for 2020. I thank you so much for tuning in to our very first show of the year. But tomorrow, the man behind the magic, Mashiya Mbeki, joins us. And of course, it's the Fashion Express Thursdays. So we're looking glam, we're looking posh, gearing up for all things fabulous in 2020.
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back again tomorrow at same time, same place. Good night and God bless.
Afternoon Express, made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.